Hey, have you ever heard of the movie Turkey Shoot? Sometimes it's listed as 1982, other times 1983, depending on where you're looking. But either way, this one's a wild ride. So, quick rundown. It's directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, the main crew, Steve Railsback as Paul Anders, Olivia Hussey as Chris Walters, and Michael Craig playing the big bad camp boss, Charles Thatcher. Oh, and it's all Aussie, filmed right there in Australia. You're looking at about 93 minutes of dystopian, sci-fi, action exploitation madness. What's the story? Basically, it's set in this totally bleak, near-future society. Imagine the year 1995, but way worse, where social deviants get shipped off to this nasty prison camp called Camp 47, running under Thatcher's iron thumb. The real hook? Once you get there, you're not just stuck with harsh rules. You might end up in the annual Turkey Shoot. That's when guards and their rich buddies literally hunt prisoners for sport. Sounds nuts, right? What follows is torture, desperate escape attempts, chaotic jungle chases, and the big camp showdown. Let's talk style. Turkey Shoot is all about dystopia, authoritarian vibes, and seriously over-the-top action. The director called it 1984 meets the camp on Blood Island, where they played the most dangerous game. Long story short, prisoners running for their lives, hunters totally out for blood. There's graphic violence, lots of style, and it definitely doesn't shy away from the whole so bad it's good thing. Some people call it trash. A lot of others think it's cheesy genius. Plus, it fits right into that whole Australian Ozploitation scene from the late 70s and 80s. Cheap, wild, and totally unfiltered. Behind the scenes, oh, it was a mess. Made under Australia's 10BA tax incentive scheme, which honestly just meant more wild genre films got made. The shoot had money problems, crazy schedules, script rewrites on the fly, heaps of second unit filming, and a ton of stock footage just to stretch the action. The National Film and Sound Archive, NFSA, even points out how they used random plane crash footage to pull off a big action scene, just squeezing the most out of what they had. Now, the reception, when it came out, it did about $1.2 million at the US box office, with a smaller opening weekend. Critics at the time hated it for being so violent and trashy. Like, here's a real quote. "A catalogue of sickening horrors. The actors involved should have been ashamed for appearing in such trash." That's harsh, but you know what? Over time, it's become a cult classic. Horror forums love it for being gloriously trashy. It gets referenced a lot when people talk about exploitation flicks and Aussie genre movies. The director himself says it's satirical, just hidden under all that over-the-top genre excess. People even liked it enough to remake it in 2014. Go figure. Now, why should you care? If you love digging into movie techniques, Turkey Shoot's a goldmine. There's loads to analyse. How it sets up that oppressive dystopia with uniforms and bleak colours. How it plays with violence. Is it joking, serious, both? And how the human hunting plot says stuff about power, class and survival. And honestly, even though it's campy, you could ask, what does Turkey Shoot say about media, violence as entertainment, or even government power? There's a bit more going on if you look past the blood and explosions. So if you're into 80s movie madness and want more cult faves, subscribe to Movies of the 80s. Turkey Shoot is definitely one you'll want on your watch list.